So, guys, I was not going to make any further video about this Unizik student and this lecturer. I was not going to make any further videos because obviously, I've seen people's comments. People just leave nasty comments and all of that. And some people have actually come into my DM, yeah, come into my DM and insult me. And I just don't know how some people think. So just because you don't agree with how I've analyzed the video that I saw that was roaming on the street of social media, you now thought that gave you the temerity, just like the lecturer said. You think that gave you the temerity to come into my DM, my Instagram DM, and come and be insulting me. And there are a few other messages that I've actually seen, who came into my DM and they were like, what, they love the way I analyzed the case and all of that thing. And one thing I want you guys to know is this, I am not a judge. I am not a judge. I have just analyzed and assessed what we've seen so far on social media in regards to that case. And also, in as much as I might not agree with you, you don't necessarily have to agree with me. I've always said this on my channel that when I come here to talk about stuff, you don't necessarily have to agree with me, and I'm not forcing my opinion down on anybody. But if you're not coming to my DM to cuss me out, your problem. He passed the one way God no go fit solve. With that being said, so two people reached out to me. Someone reached out to me via email saying the interview that the phrase did, where the sister of the lecturer was talking, it was he also did I think the last few minutes of the video, he also spoke about something um that often happens a lot. And if this story was the other way around, where they were able to prove that there was an assault in this case, that I'm going to try and drop the video or the snippet of that guy. I'm going to try and drop it here. Okay.
Thank you, sister, for coming to share what you know of the incident. Many people have said many things about the primary event, that's um, the assault, the physical assault by the girl. But there's something else. There's a secondary issue that tags onto this. That's a bigger issue. Okay. One of the ladies who came around said, what gave the girl the confidence to say this or do this or even approach or confront the lecturer? She wouldn't have had that confidence if there was not if there was nothing lurking behind the scenes. That suggests that she's a victim of something. That's what the girl is trying to suggest. And that's a problem. The secondary issue I'm picking out here is the elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about: false accusations. Now, we're using this lecturer issue as a linchpin, but it could manifest in several other contexts. This is an academic institution. It could have been a party, it could have been a church, it could have been an outside event, it could have been a sporting event. Okay, it could be anywhere else. The point is, people go out of their way to lie and raise false accusations and pin them against people. Okay, so I'm not choosing to divert from the issue here. I'm using this same issue as the linchpin, but to address the secondary issue. False accusation is a big thing today, home and abroad, wherever we are. Until people who are found to have laid false accusations are brought to book and penalized or prosecuted, these things will continue, and it's rampant. What a young
In this
girl doing?
particular story, I'd like you to point to what you consider to be a false accusation.
Well, what was already clearly stated, that the girl said he was touching parts of her body. It's as clear as a shallow stream. When somebody feels, oh, we are the less privileged class. What's the word? There's a word for it. We are the vulnerable class, vulnerable party, so to say. That's the female kind, right? There's every tendency that these people will go out of their way to, if not disciplined, to just throw anything at the wall and watch out for what sticks. Hope something sticks. False accusation is something we need to bring to books from the highest to the lowest level. Let the younger ladies of our generation begin to understand there is a bigger penalty for having been found out to lay a false accusation than the ones that actually commit them. Because hey, people just do things innocently all the time. But once you are found, if you don't have a recording to your defense, anything can stick on you from that point. So that's what I wanted to come share.
You can imagine if there was no video evidence, and it was just word of mouth. Do you understand? there's nothing he would have said that would have made people believe him. Because I mean, like, everybody knows that majority of the time it's always the narrative that the man is the one harassing the woman. Do you understand? So if there
Correct.
was no video evidence, automatically everybody would believe what the girl said. And just
Because because she
exactly,
seems like the one who's vulnerable in this case.
exactly,
But she is the female. Let's be more specific. So looking at that, I think the best people to fight this cause would be females, fellow females. Because if a man is speaking about it, oh well, you're all perpetrators, you all would be perpetrators now and in the future. But hey, we are human beings at the end of the day. Everybody wants peace of mind. Females are the ones that are supposed to stand up against this kind of behavior. I like what that woman said, the woman who said she grew up in a university environment. She said categorically, even if the man was not calm. Can you imagine that? So that means we're actually creating a preconceived caveat to say, oh, he's gentle, he's a gentleman. Kudos to your brother, he's a gentleman. But that shouldn't be the only criteria that sets him free. That shouldn't be the only
exactly.
reason. That shouldn't be the only reason he should have a fair hearing. What if he wasn't a gentle person? What if he was a stand-up person? Or he stands up for himself. He speaks for himself like Daddy Freeze. What if he was that kind of a personality? Would that make him an automatic assailant? Come on, we need to do better as a society. So that's what I wanted to share.
So with that being said, and then other someone else also reached out to me, and this person actually said obviously ask questions, okay. And I love the fact that okay, they've not dropped their comments where people in the public will have maybe read it and then be able to reply to them. I understand that this person respected my space, hence why they came into my DM. So before I even go on to the message, I also want to address the fact that I've seen comments of people saying, "Oh, because you brought you comparing your daughter to that girl does not mean that your children are going to be this, that, that." You guys are just not understanding what I'm trying to portray out here. So people have said that, oh, if it is children in the diaspora, that they will have done worse than that. If it is African child in diaspora, they will have done worse than that. I've just only just brought my kids to react so that you have a glimpse of how a child raised by an African parent in diaspora would react in that situation. I've not come out to compare my children to say, oh, my kids are better than. No, that's not what I've come to do. That's not what I've come to do. In my own case, the way that girl reacted, there was no way on earth I would have thought she would turn out that way. Because in Nigeria, any child that misbehave, parents will do grass boots for them. But here in diaspora, I can't do that to my children. So as well, I was like, you know what, children in diaspora are more maybe in that situation will react the way that girl did. Because like, oh, you spare the rod, you spoil them. Obviously, the way the system is in the UK, you can't slap your child, you can't eat your child, you can't do any of those things. That's what I've just tried to say. There's a difference. Just because the children are in different environment does not mean that the one in diaspora will do better or lesser. It's just to let you know that in different situations or in different environments, children can behave differently. So I hope that has clarified some of you, the people that dropped comment. And if that has not clarified anything, well, I can't help you. Anyway, so this person reached out to me by DM, and I've gotten pretty much the same message from other people like that. So I was like, no, I'm just going to do a video and come explain this. So this person said, I'm going to leave the screenshot of the message here. This person said, "Hello, ma. I hope this message finds you well. I totally understand where you are coming from with regards to the girl that was rusticated from the uni. Respect for elders is certainly something that should not be played with, and I agree with you on that. And also, guys, I want you to know that I'm this person that will advocate for the girl child. You know what? The kind of things I would love to discuss on my platform, because of the way social media has been toxic nowadays, that's why I won't actually bring those things here. But because I'm not able to share any of those things, I will advocate for a girl child 120,000%. But when that girl child has actually done something wrong, you will not find me where I will not be calling. I will be the one to call that child out. In as much as I advocate for girl child, female children, girls, I often come here to say no, we should protect women, we should protect our women. If I see one misbehaving badly, I'll come here to call them out. I hope that clarifies that. So let me keep reading. So this person said, however, I remember when I was in secondary school, one girl in my class slapped a teacher for touching her inappropriately. So let's define the word inappropriately. So according to Google here, I've put in inappropriate touching. So Google said inappropriate touching is any unwanted physical contact that makes someone feel uncomfortable, threatened, or violated. It can include touching someone's privates without consent or other unwanted touching. Examples of inappropriate touching could be groping or grabbing, brushing against someone's body, putting a hand on someone's thigh, kissing someone without consent, hugging without consent, invading someone's personal space. So those are examples of inappropriate touching. So inappropriate simply means that a touch that makes somebody feels uncomfortable without consent. So that's the definition of inappropriate touching. So from the video of that girl that we saw and that lecturer, from that example and definition of inappropriate touching that I've just given, would you classify such? Would you classify what that lecturer did as inappropriate touching? In my own opinion, I do not see it as inappropriate touching based on the example that I've just read here. I hope that answers this part of this question for this person. So this person continues saying, in the case where an elder violates a student, I think we need to look again at that situation. So this person is saying, in case this lecturer violated the girl by what that lecturer did in that video, do you think that is the lecturer violating the girl? Do you think that was the lecturer violating the girl? This person continues saying, she alleged that the lecturer touched her. From the video we all saw, except maybe there's another video that we've not seen. Except there's another video that we've not seen. But based on what I have seen, that I have shared here, I still remain on my ground. So this person continues saying, I am not saying that it is true because I was not there either. And there is no video evidence, but can we say beyond reasonable doubt that he didn't touch her? Just like this person said in this write-up, I was not there, she was also not there, but based on what we saw, is that touching? Was that touching? Where the lecturer said, where the lecturer tapped the lady and said, excuse me, was that touching? Was that an inappropriate touching? English scholars in the house, please come and help us out in this case. This person continues saying, I have also been approached by men in my early teens who were old enough to be my father and who look like people who would never do that if I reported. We cannot act like such things don't happen. No. The reactions I've made so far, I have not reacted as if I know things like that happen. I know that things like that happen. And when things like that happen, it does not happen in open space. It does not happen in open space. I hope you know that. But in the case of this lecturer, what we all saw was in an open space. Again, we cannot say that she is telling the truth because the video did not capture the alleged sexual assault, but we also cannot come down as hard on the girl just in case she is telling the truth. So from that video that you saw of where the lecturer said, excuse me, and then the one that we saw later where people have been alleging that the lecturer touched her chest area, from that video that I saw, the hand that the lecturer was holding, the hand of the girl that the lecturer was holding was the same hand this girl was using to hold her phone. So the kind of out clothing she wore is a very thin, flimsy clothing, which means that if she moves too much, obviously her cleavage area is going to bounce out. So that hand that she's using to hold the phone that the lecturer is trying to get from her, it was the same hand that she's using to cover her chest like that. And the lecturer is grabbing onto that hand. So obviously, she has seen her own video and look at her write-up. What was she trying to insinuate there? Where she was trying to get over the pain, and this is that of the lecturer pushing her. That video of her that you saw, was that a push? So this person continues saying that, please, ma, I have two questions. Is there a possibility that the man touched her inappropriately? Like I said, I was not there, I wouldn't know. But from what I have seen so far, I do not believe that was an inappropriate touching. Except maybe there's something else in the back that's transpired between both of them that we do not know. But from what we've all seen on social media, that video of her dancing where the lecturer said, "Excuse me," and of the lecturer grabbing her hand, I don't see that as inappropriate touching. There was a reason why that lecturer was holding her hand. And from the definition of inappropriate touching, I don't see sexual assault in that. I hope that answered your first question or second question. Then the second question she asked was, if yes, what should a younger person do in that case to defend themselves? So in a case of this girl, the said incident happened in the school. If the girl felt that the lecturer tapping her or pushing her allegedly, exactly based on what she said, if the girl felt like the teacher or the lecturer touched her, in that instance, I wouldn't expect her to say anything to the lecturer. I would have imagined that she's been a student in that uni for 3 years. They will have student services, they will have student union. And I'm sure that by the time she started that school, they will have given them something called student handbook, which means that if you have any issues with any lecturer, if you have any issues with any students, go to so department to report or file a complaint. In the normal circumstances, I would have expected her, even if at all the lecturer came back and asked her for her phone. You might say, sir, what did I do wrong? And if the lecturer insisted on having your phone, give the lecturer the phone. Go to your student services and go and file a complaint. And if she doesn't want to do it herself because some lecturers might intimidate students and stuff like that, she might even do it through her mom, which is going to be a benefit for her because obviously her mom is a staff of that school. Her mom will know how things work. And then her mom will possibly put in a complaint on her behalf, and then they take it through the disciplinary panel in the school. See, if that was what she did, if that was all she did, if the lecturer came back and said, delete that video, and she refused to delete the video, and if the lecturer asked, I want that phone. In my own, if I was the one, I would have handed the phone to the lecturer and then I'll go file a complaint. And then I believe the disciplinary panel will summon both the lecturer and the students to come and say what side of they are both sides of the story. But because she used, because she was physical, because she went physical with the lecturer, that is what actually made this thing flop against her, in my own opinion. Hence why I have this reaction towards how she did. If that was my child that did that, if that happened to her and she came to me, oh, so this happened, I will advise her to go and file a complaint towards the lecturer. Because at the end of the day, I'm still maintaining the fact that the lecturer is more or less like some sort of authority in that school. If you could raise your hands to eat your lecturer, you can as well eat the vice chancellor of the university. You can as well do that to a vice chancellor. And I'm still maintaining that she does not need to know if that man was a lecturer or not for her to have reacted that way. And from all the videos we've seen so far, even when people are holding her, that, oh, he's your lecturer, people are holding this girl, he's your lecturer. You can still see her, jumping, doing all of that. So I do not dislike her. I do not hate the girl. I am an advocate for protecting our female children. But in this case of this girl, based on the video I saw, I still put all the blames on the girl. I still put all the blames on the girl. So I hope this has answered your question to this person that sent me this message. And then she said that, to conclude, I am not in support of beating anybody, much more an elder without strong reason for self-defense. In this case, we cannot prove that the man did not touch her inappropriately. So for that reason, I remain neutral. Please, I hope you don't take my message in the wrong way. No, I did not take your message in any wrong way. It was a question you asked. But like I said, based on that video of where she was dancing and the lecturer said, tapped her on the shoulder. And I've said it. I don't know. I've said it. Well, if you push somebody, you will push. If you tap somebody, that's. And it was not as if maybe she's in a religious school. It's not as if maybe she's She's an alaja that she's covering her face, and the lecturer did what he did. And I don't mean any disrespect to any Muslims who cover their body or anything like that. In my own opinion, and I still remain on the stand. So if people are still going to come here and bash me, go ahead and do so. If we keep things like this, if you spare the rod and spoil the child, we all see how our country is today. And like I said in my last video as well, that if only this girl has written an apology, or if only she has just gone with her mom straight away to go and find her lecturer and tender an apology, this would not have escalated the way it escalated to the school now, doing what they did. And trust me, this behavior of hers, if she does it here in the UK or in the diaspora, she will be behind bars. Because there's a chance for you to have gone to report that lecturer. That would have been the easiest thing for her to do. There was no need for her to give snide remarks to the lecturer. There was no reason to be rude to the lecturer. She could have just gone straight to the student services and go and file in a complaint of inappropriate touching if she felt that was what the lecturer did. And then the school will investigate. But no, she took it into her own hands. And she used her hands against her lecturer. And yes, in my own opinion, like I said, in my own opinion, that lecturer did nothing wrong. That lecturer did nothing wrong. Guys, leave your thought and opinion as always in the comment section. Respectfully, please. Okay? Respectfully. And if you've watched this video till now, you've not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section. Subscribe if you've not yet done so. Turn on your post notifications. Share this video. Do not hesitate to join my membership. And I hope to catch up with you in my other videos. Alright? Bye for now. Bye.
You talking the things that you say, where they make you feel alright. And I catch a vibe anytime that I look in your face. Tell me why you look so fine, baby girl. I see you, wanna ride you like a bicycle, and you they blow my mind from my mind let go. And I don't go lie, you light up my life. And when she tell me my love.